Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's Main Event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark back here with you yet again on another Friday. Welcome to Tom Clark's Main Event. Often imitated, never duplicated. You want to know why? Because don't nobody look like this, wearing this, with these banners, and talking to you. You understand? And also because I'm awesome. I'm feeling myself today. Can you tell? I'm feeling myself. Is that all right? Is that all right with y'all? I feel pretty good, actually. Often imitated, never duplicated. Never you fear. You know what? I inspire people. You think I'm making that up? I ain't making that up. Who's making that up? Not I. Not I say. I'm not making up anything. I inspire people to do stuff. That's all I'm saying. I'm not picking a fight. I'm not trying to be weird. Nothing like that. Okay? But I know what I do. I know I got some stroke. I got a little bit of stroke. That's okay. That's okay. You want to know why? Because I dig it. I dig the life out of it. Welcome back to the show. I'm done. Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is episode 390 in 10 short weeks. 10 episodes away. We're going to hit the big 400. How you like that? 400, baby. What do you think about that, man? It's not bad, right? I feel like this thing is huge in my shot today. Is it? Let me see if I can maybe lower the profile of that there boom arm. That way it's not controlling my shot. How's my lighting? Good? Got the beard trimmed today. Got the hair cut. Well, the hair was trimmed. The beard was trimmed as well. As people start to come in here today, kids, if you will, do me a favor, smash the like button for me. If you've never watched the show before, what's up? I'm Tom. Glad to meet you. Thanks for tuning in. On this here podcast, we talk about pro wrestling. We talk about AEW. We talk about New Japan. We talk a little bit about TNA, a little bit about WWE. We talk a little bit about a little bit of everything. Okay? And today we got a lot of stuff to get to. So again, thanks for tuning in. And if you've, again, never watched before, we appreciate you. Welcome. Everybody meet the kids. If you're new here, never watched before, please raise your hand in the chat. Let us know who you are. Introduce yourself. I'd appreciate it. And also, just so you know, if you follow us on Boink Studios on the YouTube, then you can get access to all kinds of different podcasts, kids. I'm doing so many shows right now. It is unreal. You know how many shows I'm doing? It's unreal. And I got more coming. We recently announced, and by the way, Ray all day's in the chat. Thanks, Ray, for tuning in. We recently announced the coming soon podcast, Ray's Sports and Slams. That's right, kids. If you've seen the page, if you've liked the page, there on the Facebook, if you will, please go give it a like. That is Ray Dean's brand new podcast, and he will be featured on Boink Studios YouTube. So we're looking forward to getting that thing off the ground. We're still working behind the scenes to make a lot of the things happen. So those teasers you've seen, that's coming from us here at Boink Studios. And Ray's excited. I'm excited to get that thing live and rolling. So keep your eyes open for that, kids. We'll be sharing that with you very soon and get it out the gate. And hopefully you will enjoy it. Ray's going to do a little bit of everything. It's going to be a little bit of pro sports, of course, a little bit of pro wrestling, and a little bit of everything else in between. So we do hope you enjoy that. Keep your eyes open for it, kids. Again, we would greatly appreciate it. As we said, Ray's in the chat. We appreciate you, Ray, very much. Robbie, what's going on? JP, what's going on? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you, Fernando. What's up, Randy Engel? Good to meet you, my friend. And have you watched before? If you have, I apologize. It's been a long week. It's been a good week, but it has been a long week. But we appreciate you very much. David down under, good to see you, my friend. Hope things are going well for you there in Australia. Thanks for watching as always. What's up, E? E's doing well. E bought a Lexus SUV yesterday. He's doing very well. E, how about let me hold $20? Just saying, he's doing well. Everybody say hey to E. All right, kids, we got loads to talk about. We're not going to waste any more of your time with the intros and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the start time for AEW All Out. Now, you guys know WWE did their weird stuff where they counter-programmed, okay? because WWE, can we be honest with you, they want to drive AEW out of business. And I understand, maybe you will disagree. Maybe you will disagree, but I firmly believe that WWE would like nothing more than to see AEW go out of business. And, I think that's a shame. We've said it before here on the podcast many, many times before that there's plenty of room at the table for pro wrestling companies, not just that one. But if you guys, any of you WWE lifers out there listening live or after the fact, if you don't know, now you know. WWE is ruthless. They are cutthroat. They call it business. I call it something else. But that's me talking, okay? You guys out there, you're fans of WWE and you love everything they do, more power to you. You're welcome to enjoy that company. I haven't been a fan of that company in a very long time. We'll talk about it here, and I don't put anybody down for liking what they like. It's all good with me. But to me, this isn't a matter of, well, this company's bigger than this one. I don't think it's anything like that, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything like that at all. To me, what you're seeing is that, once again, WWE is making it known that they need to be the only game in town. I don't think that it needs to be that way. It never needed to be that way, right? But they want to be the only game in town. And, it's weird. I don't get it. There's part of me that just does not understand why we keep going through this all the time. They did the same thing to Crockett. They did it to WCW. And, that's a different conversation. WCW came after them. I totally understand. But, again, I tell you, there is room at the table for more than one pro wrestling company, in my opinion. So, I don't know. The start time has been moved to 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And, they kind of had to do it. They're going up against Wrestlepalooza, which they weren't going up against anybody at the time that the show was booked. But look, man, it is what it is. I don't understand it. It's also going to stream live on HBO Max. Pay-per-views moving forward, stream live on HBO Max, beginning with All Out. And we're talking about Saturday, September 20th. I believe it's a Saturday. No, yep, it's Saturday. Man, I wish AEW pay-per-views would just continue to be on Saturdays. That just make me very, very happy. I'm not a fan of Sunday AEW pay-per-views, man, but that's just me talking. I want to know what you guys think about the start time, because I'd like to get some comments here from you cats and see what you think. I appreciate you very much, E. He had a great birthday. We took him out to dinner. We took him shopping, let him get him some clothes, and gave him a little bit of birthday money. I got him a camera system for his car. And, we went out to dinner, so he had a good day. It was a really good day. So, my kid, I call him the boy, as you guys know, but the boy is becoming a man as we speak. He is 17 now. It's mind-blowing to me, man. Fernando says, very disappointed AEW. They look scared running from the fight. They had the time slot first. I can't say I'm disappointed, okay? I will say that I think it's a shame that they felt compelled to move the start time. But here's what I'll tell you. Do I understand it? Yeah, I understand it. But in my opinion, once you run one time, you're going to be running forever, because WWE's not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep, firing bullets at them. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. So, it's never going to stop with that company. So, again, it's like the old adage of, if you don't ever stand up to the bully, he's going to keep bullying you. It's kind of the same thing. And Tony Khan has proven more than one time he didn't like to be bullied. So, this is my opinion. I think if it were Tony Khan's flat out his call, he would have said, well, I'm not moving it, right? I don't know that it was 100% his call. It feels like maybe a group decision, whatever that group is. Maybe it's just him. Maybe it's him with someone else behind the scenes. Maybe it's him and maybe a TBS person here and there, or Turner. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. It's hard to not be upset at that. Also, I do understand it. What's up, Josh McManus? Good to see you. Good to see you. Ray says WWE is cutthroat. Why they need to compete? They have their own thing. Smells like haters. Thank you for wishing my kid happy birthday. I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. JP says not a fan of Sunday pay-per-views on Sundays because it's not football season. Yeah, I just once listen, they spoiled us, or they spoiled me anyway. Once you go live on Saturday, I can't get enough of it. I want live on Saturday all the time now. Okay, so that's why I'm saying I'm all for it. All right, so I'm totally okay with them going live on Saturday. In fact, I prefer it now, honestly. And I didn't know how much I liked it until they started doing it. JP says WB sees AEW as a threat. WB wants to be a monopoly, and I totally disagree. But more wrestling, the better. Yeah, and the word threat, people get hung up on it. Listen, kids, don't get hung up on the word threat. JP, I'm not talking to you. It's people see the word threat and they laugh it off. I don't know if WWE would use the word threat, but you know what they see? And by the way, if you use the word competition, people laugh at that too. WWE sees AEW as something. This notion that WWE doesn't see that company is laughable. You guys know they do. Because if they didn't, why are they counter-programming all the time? So let's just get that crap out of the way right now. Okay, but on top of that, it's a big deal to counter-program any other company, okay? Because you are making the statement, we're going to bury them. We're going to do all we can to hurt their business, to hurt their buys, to do all we can to run them in the ground. They've done it for years. They did it when the other guy was there. They're doing it now that Hunter's running the show. This notion that Hunter's so much different than his father-in-law, dude, are you kidding me? Every time I hear stuff like that, I'm like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's okay to be mistaken. And I'm not right about everything. You guys know that. We don't procrastinate here to the point of we have everything figured out. But, dude, this notion that it's like, it's so much, things are so much better and he's different. He ain't different. He hasn't changed. Nothing's changed in that company. Top people may look different, but here comes Brock. Cena's still there. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not bagging on anybody. I'll bag on Brock. He's got it coming. But again, like this big notion, it's a different company, Tom. Out of here with that. Get out of here with that. I'm not having that. It is not a different company at all. Come on, man. Thank you, Fernando. I appreciate you very much. He says last month the county corner my city was caught. Oh my God, E! I'm not putting that on the screen. Good heavens, E! You got to warn me before that's explicit lyrics. I need a label on that. Good heavens, you guys are welcome to read that in the chat. I'm not reading out loud. Good heavens, E! You shocked me with that. JP says AEW started this by moving Collision to Thursdays when there was WWE PLEs on Saturdays. You said AEW started it? I don't know that. Well, look, if you wanted to go all the way back, you could say AEW started when Cody broke a throne with a sledgehammer. I'm not saying there's not fault to be had on every side, because there's probably some fault to be had on every side. But WWE, in my opinion, without anyone telling me this at all, but I feel like I'm a fairly smart dude. They want AEW out of business. That's it and that's all. And I don't know what else to say to you guys about it. They want AEW out of business. Honestly. So again, I hate it is what it is. Yeah, what are you going to do? Right? It's a weird way to end that segment, but I'm just saying, again, I don't like the thoughts of them running from it, but do I understand it? Yes, I understand it. Let's talk about The Rock, kids. The Rock's career has been somewhat the word joke is way too harsh, and I don't think I've ever used that when it comes to this guy's acting career. It has stalled somewhat in recent years. There was all that weird stuff with the Fast and Furious franchise, him and Vin Diesel. Then there was that weird stuff with him and Black Adam and thinking he was going to come in and call the shots in the DCEU, and that none of that came to pass because that movie bombed. And, so, again, has it stalled in recent years? Yeah, I would maybe say it has. But let me tell you something, man. Things appear to have turned around because the Smashing Machine, and this thing has premiered at the Venice Film Festival. It got a standing ovation. He got a little teary-eyed. And, of course, as we know, it is what's being described as an art house dramatization of a 2002 HBO documentary, and it tells the story about Mark Kerr, an MMA fighter who was a pioneer of the bloodily violent sport in the years before its champions were rich and famous. And the BBC said Johnson is probably the only actor alive who could play Kerr convincingly. I totally agree with that. From a physical standpoint alone, he's the only guy that could do it. I hear the movie's fantastic. I'm probably going to give it a shot and see what I think. It's possible he'll be nominated. I mean, there probably will be a campaign for an Oscar buzz or for an Oscar, because a lot of that stuff happens behind the scenes and involves players and phone calls and videos and emails and, shoulder rubbing with folks that we never see, that we may never even hear about, right? But that's the buzz right now, is that The Rock could be looking at an Oscar nod for this movie. Look, here's what I'll tell you. Despite what I think about anything else, people should be awarded for good performance, for great performance. You know what I mean? He would be no different. And, we talked ad nauseum here in the pod before about how, people have these romantic memories, or they've romanticized, the Attitude Era as if it's the Wild West and Doc Holliday and Tombstone, when there's nothing to romanticize. There was a lot of crap TV going on during the Attitude Era. If you don't know, now you know. Crap TV during the days of the Attitude Era, during the days of Monday Night Wars. Horrible TV. Stuff that just made, cringe is not the word. Okay, but it's been romanticized over the years. But take it from me, from somebody who watched it live as it happened, and if you did too, you know what I mean. Like, again, it's been romanticized, and it's been held up as the greatest era in the history of professional wrestling. I do not agree with that. I don't agree with it. I didn't agree with it then. I don't agree with it now. Okay, so like, even to me, the Rock shtick got old very quick. I had to hear about, shove this up this and shove it up here and shove it up this. Dude, when you talk about, all right, it's 9 weeks in a row of shoving something up something else, I'm done. Holy Lord. I vividly remember having conversations during the Monday Night Wars where I'm talking to friends of mine going, God, Rock cuts the same promo every week. Nothing against him. They were in the trenches slugging out with WCW. I get it. But again, this notion it was the best time ever, but I digress. I'm getting distracted. But I'm saying all that to say this, even with all that stuff behind us, again, if Rock has nailed this, and it sounds like he has, I think it's pretty cool that, a pro wrestler gets an Oscar. We'll see, or at least nominated, right? I think that'd be pretty cool. Fernando says The Rock is not winning an Oscar. Book it. Brother, I would never say absolute anything. You know how I roll. I don't do that. We had somebody on my show months ago during the open floor, and I mentioned Superman flick, and he said it was going to bomb. He or she, whatever this person was, said it was going to bomb. Said, take it from me. I know it will. And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. I don't think it bombed, did it? I'm just saying, like, it's that weird thing. Fernando, I'm not talking to you. It's that weird thing where it's like people just, here's the word of God. This is it, and that's all, period. And I'm like, all right, dude, you can live and die on a hill. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because I have said things before. I can only tell you from my experience. I've said things before that I truly, truly believed. And guess what happened? It didn't happen the way that I thought it was going to go down. It didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. And so, like, it's okay to be wrong. I'm perfectly fine being wrong. But that's why I don't draw a line in the sand anymore. If folks want to do that, they can. It's fine. Fernando says he's proud of the Attitude Era. Brother, you can be a fan of what you want to be a fan of. But again, a lot of crap TV going on during the Attitude Era. The birth of the hand, Katie Vick, a lot of stuff that should never have been put on television. Embarrassing. Women being, in the gravy boat matches and mud matches and ripping bikinis off. And I don't know. I just, again, to each his own. It's perfectly fine with me if you want to be a fan of it. But man, I moved past that stuff years ago. Ray says The Rock looks so thin. Yeah. At this point in time, does he need to be 285 pounds at his age in his 50s? Maybe not. Even though he's healthy as a horse. Does he need to be as big as a horse? Maybe not. We saw Dave Bautista do the same thing. at some point in time, John Cena will not look like John Cena looks today. Okay? Probably not anytime soon. He's got that Peacemaker gig lined up. And folks, if you're not watching Peacemaker, I endorse it. I love Peacemaker. I like that it's irreverent. I like that James Gunn is crushing it with this show. I like that James Gunn's in charge of the DCU. I'm here for it. That's me talking. Chippy says, and he's been running the XFL. Talking about The Rock. Oh, yeah, dude, for sure. For sure. Fernando, I love that you watch my show and that we interact and engage and everything. And I really appreciate your opinion, but I get it. I mean, I'm not even talking about the cursing right now. I just, if we're going to boil it down to that and say the curse words today are no different than what they were then, I guess. I don't know. I guess so. You know what I mean? If that's your thing, that's cool. Is Okada using that word getting old hat? Yeah, it's getting old hat. In my opinion. I totally agree with you on that, by the way. I think it's getting old hat myself. But again, to each his own. We can all like what we want to like for sure. Let's see, kids. Riho is back. Riho. Her name is Riho, and she did. Okay. It's already been booked. She is taking on Mercedes Mone. Here's what I don't want to do. Because I do this all the time. Every time AEW has an event, we have two conversations pretty much every time. Is this the night that Toni Storm loses? And also, is this the night Mercedes Mone loses? So here's what I'll tell you. I think I'm kind of over that now. I get the opinions that exist out there about, it's gone on too long. The winning streak's gone. I just don't care anymore. And I can't speak for anybody else. I'm just speaking for me. I just don't care about that anymore. I don't care to have that conversation. I mean, if you guys want to bring it up, you want to chat about it, I'm okay with it. But if I never had that conversation again, it'd be too soon. I just don't care. It doesn't bother me. It never bothered me to begin with. You know what I mean? Because as I said, weeks ago on Peaches and Power Bombs, I said it weeks ago on that show. By the way, shout out to Tina and Sarah. I said this weeks ago on their show was that, look at what we're talking about. We're talking about two women who were undefeated with championships, not men, but women. And we're talking about who are going to beat these unbeatable women. What a time to be alive if you're a pro wrestling fan. You know how cool that is? It's insanely cool is the answer. Y'all know that, don't you? It is insanely cool that we're talking about two women who can't be beat. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. And look, when the next AEW show comes along, whether it'd be all out, of course. But every time one of them defends the title, we're going to have the conversations here. We'll talk about whether or not this will be the night. But I'm just letting you know, for me personally, I'm over it. We'll discuss it when we're previewing matches and shows and all that good stuff. But again, it's not keeping me up at night. I love that we are where we are with these two. I love Toni. I love Mercedes. I think they're both doing the absolute best work of their entire career. I'm totally here for it. That's me. Ray says, I'm glad she's back. I hope she doesn't get stomped to the ground by Mercedes and loses again clean. Mercedes is the only heel that doesn't win like a heel. Yeah, but it's okay too, right? Because when heels cheat to win every single time, that gets old real quick. Mercedes is proving with every match that she's arguably the best in the world. Every match, she's flat out proving it to you. Do you know what I mean? She's proving it every time. I get what you're saying. And I like Riho a lot. I don't think Riho's going to get stomped in the ground. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you'll see a highly competitive match. Mercedes, she's going to give Mercedes all she can handle. Mercedes is a true pro, and so is Riho. I think it's going to be a really solid match. Look, they could pull off, I won't say upset. I don't think Riho beating Mercedes for the TBS Championship is an upset. I don't think you can call it that at this point. I just don't think you can. Do you know what I mean? So, if they go that route, I think it'd be okay with it. I'm sure Mercedes would be okay with it. God, what a pro. She's fantastic, isn't she? Fernando, good point. I do not care about Riho versus Mercedes. She comes back after a long absence and loses. This will happen again. Riho disappear again. In her defense, and I'm not saying I'm right, but I always suspect that when Riho is out, it's either because of injury or she's working somewhere else or she's back home in Japan. And I could be at any given time wrong about any of the three of those things. Okay. But that's just me talking. I every time she's not on AEW programming, I just figure that's what's going on. Okay. So, but you know what? I get it. And I like Riho a lot. I wish she'd just come back full time. But we also don't know her situation. Do you know what I mean? We can all sit back and say things, but we really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I totally get where you're coming from. I got cats coming in and out of my office. It's funny. But yeah, I totally, please don't scratch the screen. Cats, man. I used to be able to hold these two up to the camera when they were kittens. I can't hold them now. They're too freaking big. They're much too big. Yeah. So kids, we are at the bottom of the hour already. Can you believe that? We are already 30 minutes in to this show. I've got some ads that I need to update. So expect new ads next week. If you saw the graphics on the Facebook, you see that the graphics were updated. I'm constantly trying to improve the shows and make them look better. I do it all the time. I spend a lot of time on my YouTube channel. I spend a lot of time on the podcast that you see, and I'm spending a lot of time on stuff coming up down the pike. But yeah, look, we've got one to show you. It's a little bit outdated, but I think it still works. Do me a favor, kids, watch this.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today. BoinkStudios.com.
There you go, kids. BoinkStudios.com. And be sure to follow us on the YouTube. I dropped the link in the chat. And just for kicks and giggles, I think I will do it here again. If everybody here watching right now would subscribe for free on the YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it. There's your link right there. Be sure to go check that out. As you can see, it's youtube.com/@BoinkStudios if you're on desktop. And if you're on your app, just search @Boink Studios. You'll see the black and white logos you see there in the corner of your screen. That's how you can find us. So if you would do that, I would appreciate it. Ray says, I heard that Ray Sports and Slam is going to be fire. Absolutely. Available only on BoinkStudios.com and wherever you get your podcasts. More to come on that. Everybody stay tuned. As we said earlier, we're going to be releasing details as we progress with the evolution of the show behind the scenes. And I want everybody here live and after the fact to be sure you tune in. You're only going to be able to get this show, 6M Podcast, Two Nations of Ted Lasso Podcast, and Bear Mode, a podcast review of the Bear, as well as Ray's Sports and Slams on Boink Studios YouTube. I'm also working behind the scenes to bring another show to the channel. So everybody be sure you go subscribe. Nothing's behind a paywall. Everything's free. And so, yeah, please go check us out. We would greatly appreciate it. Let's talk about this week's headlines, kids. Stuff that is in the news, stuff that is going on. And let's get your thoughts on it. So Bryan Danielson this week, this is good. Media tour of Australia kicking off for AEW. And Bryan Danielson was asked if there's anything left on his wrestling bucket list. He said, nope, not a single thing. Well, that's it. It's over. Go home. I want Danielson to work again. I get why he's not, but I want this guy to come back. He's doing commentary. I guess he's done. I guess he's done for real. But he did go on to say, with the last 6 months of my wrestling career being as much pain as I was, that put me in this thing of, I think I'm ready to be done. I'm very fulfilled by my career, very fulfilled by my life right now, and I still get to stay involved with pro wrestling, which is something I love to this day. So there you go. It's hard to argue that. As we've said multiple times here on the show, we will always continue to say, we want the pro wrestlers, male and female, to be happy, to be healthy, to be safe, to do what's best for them and their careers and for their families and their futures. And Danielson is extremely happy not being involved in the ring anymore. Although as fans, we miss him. I want to see the guy come back. It looks like that is not going to happen. Ray says, Raja Jackson, I thought you might have already talked about it. We have not talked about it here today. It's It's a tough one, man, because here's what I'll tell you. This whole thing is one of the weirdest, maybe weird is being a little disrespectful, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't know who to believe. There's a big, long video behind it. And to catch you guys up, Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, was involved in an independent pro wrestling thing. This organization was affiliated with WWE. They're not anymore. Okay. And this guy filmed everything. At the end of the day, a wrestler named Psycho Stu was bludgeoned. Bludgeoned is the only way to put it, man. Okay. And I'm here to tell you something. Absolutely frightening. Absolutely frightening. All right. For sure. Brandon says, you know better, Tom. Never say never in wrestling. What are we talking? What did I say never to? What did I say never to? You caught me. If you caught me saying never, good on you. By the way, if you've seen those clips of what happened to this wrestler named Psycho Stu, I'm dropping his GoFundMe in the chat right now. They had so much money being, donated to this thing. They kept moving the goalposts and moving the goal up. They have raised just over $221,000, which is awesome. It's very awesome. Your donations are protected, by the way. There's a guy named Stuart Humphreys who donated 15 grand. I think Jericho put in 5,000, I believe. Yeah, good on you. Everybody putting money into this guy, good on you. This kind of stuff just doesn't need to happen in pro wrestling. Okay, it just doesn't need to happen. Pro wrestling is meant to be fun and entertaining. It's not meant to be this. What we saw, that wasn't pro wrestling. It was not even close. It was it was a snuff film. Don't need that. Okay, y'all know that. I'm not breaking any new ground by telling you that either. So yeah, all the best to Stu. Hopefully he makes a full recovery and he's going to be fine. There is an update on the impending neck surgery for Will Ospreay. And supposedly, according to Wrestling Observer, the surgery to repair two herniated discs will happen in a few weeks, which is good. Get that surgery, get back on track, and get back healthy. We want to see you back in the ring. All the best to him. Also, Swerve Strickland has had successful knee surgery. I wouldn't expect to see either one of these two guys for a very long time. As we've said before, as recently as last week, I believe, this company has a lot of talent. Okay? A lot of talent. That roster is stacked and jacked with men and women who are absolutely great and wonderful and top-notch and main event stars. Okay? So, yes, they'll miss Ospreay. Yes, they'll miss Swerve. Do they have enough talent to fill in? I submit that they do. Fernando says Brian will return for a few more matches. He might. I'm just giving you what the guy said. I'm just giving you what Danielson himself said. But, workers work. It's what they do. You know what I mean? So you can never tell. Fernando says this is clear-cut case. Raja is trash for what he did. He belongs in jail. I'm not breaking any news here. I suspect that he had a conversation or they had a conversation with him, but I don't know that for sure. At the end of the day, how would cops even look at this? How would a DA even look at this? Because you're taking pro wrestlers' word for it in a business where you are paid to lie to people, or you're not paid, right? Especially on that level, okay? But your business is to lie to people. Your absolute business is to be dishonest. And that's your business, is to lie to people, to work them. So how would a DA even be able to pick that out? Picking what's the old saying, gnats out of horse crap? It's how do you do it? How do you determine what's not real and what's real? Fact from fiction. I suspect it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Yeah, Sammy Guevara went heel, now part of LFI. I'm glad he's got something to do. And I want to see him back on regular AEW programming week to week. I think Sammy's great, honestly. There was a weird thing that happened this week with Kenny Omega. I say weird. It struck me as weird. Have you guys heard about this? So Kenny Omega this week on Twitter, he responded to a report that came out yesterday on Thursday about him taking time off that would include All Out. Fightful Select had originally reported that Omega is being taken out on a stretcher at the conclusion of Wednesday's Dynamite, was writing him off TV for a while due to a planned break, one that includes a trip to Japan. Omega took exception to this, responding, quote, time off? Specialized hospital visits and work that had been planned for a year, but sure, let's bait the trolls. I'm just trying to improve what I can and represent the company in a positive way while not performing. Don't be misleading with headlines, please and thank you, end quote. Part of that planned work would appear to be at the Tokyo Game Show, as Fightful reported, and it's unknown when Kenny will be back. So Kenny Omega, once again, is out of action. If I've told you once, I've told you many, many times, more times than I care to count. Pro wrestlers look at me and writers and anyone calling themselves a pro wrestling journalist. You know what we are to them? We are everyone listening to me and watching me live and after the fact. We are fans. That's all we are to them. That's it. That's all we are. And there's different levels. I get it. I feel like Sean Sapp does a pretty good job with Fightful. And there's other guys, despite what anyone wants to throw at Meltzer. Meltzer's been doing this a lot longer than any of us have, and has been paid a whole lot more than any of us have, and has a whole career and built an entire network around it. Anybody wants to crap on him, go ahead. It's weird, but I can't stop you. But they will always look at us as fans. We are nothing more until such time as we are behind the curtain in some capacity, in a pro wrestling capacity, whether it's a manager or a commentator or a ring guy or whatever. And there's still a line right there. Yes, you're part of the show. You're still not a wrestler. Those of you who know, you already know. I'm not breaking any new ground. Those of you who are in denial or who maybe think that, well, so-and-so deserves this and wrestlers shouldn't say that. We are nothing but fans to them. And people use the word marks. I've talked about the word mark till I'm blue in the face here on this show. The word mark, fans use it against each other all the time. They use it as an insult, and it's ridiculous. Because, brother, we are all marks. Don't ever get it twisted. Unless you are a worker, you are a mark. Okay? And the word mark is not a bad word because a mark is a fan. And people say, well, I'm a true fan. I'm not a mark. You have no idea what you're talking about. Okay? You are splitting hairs and you are causing a fight where there doesn't need to be a fight. There's no need for any of that. But as I said, people have been doing it for years. They use the word mark as an insult to go after each other. It's weird. I don't get it. But you know who's having a laugh about it behind the scenes? All the wrestlers. Because to us, to them, we're all fans. That's all Sean Ross Sapp is. That's all Meltzer is. And it doesn't mean, here's the caveat. It doesn't mean that the guys and gals hate us. It doesn't mean they hate podcasters. I didn't do anything. It doesn't mean they hate Sean Sapp or anybody. It also doesn't mean that they don't. Okay? I'm just telling you like it is. You are not part of the show. I am not part of the show either. I talk about it. I've been in the business before. It wouldn't make a difference. To them, we're not part of the show, and not me either. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, everything Kenny said, proof positive right there. I don't think anything the report on Fightful was out of line at all. I read it. You heard it. None of it was out of line. But, buddy, he didn't like the way it was said. I've written about wrestlers before and said what I thought to be glowing things and got tagged on Twitter, and they came after me because they didn't like what I said. You want to know why? Say it with me. Because I'm just a fan. That's how they view us. You know what makes me different than y'all? This mic, the logos, a podcast network that I'm working on behind the scenes, and 11 years of experience doing this. That's really the only difference. Yes, I've been in the business before. If you want to throw that in, I guess you can. At the end of the day, I'm a fan, and I'm okay with that. So anytime someone wants to call me a name, I guess you can. Again, it's weird. I don't understand. It is what it is. Fernando says, who should Tony elevate with the absence of Will and Swerve? I don't know what the timeline is for Eddie Kingston and Orange Cassidy, but I believe it. I think the company needs them back. In terms of who they elevate, throw some names in a hat, pick them out of a hat. I mean, it looks like Hook might be turning heel. I mean, I'm not crazy about that, but I guess they could. I mean, I guess you could, again, man, you could just line up a massive dartboard and just put a whole bunch of names on it and just start throwing darts randomly. I'm not trying to dodge your question, but like, I just think they've got so many options, man. I don't think they're in the mud at all over there. They're not in the stuff. I'm keeping it clean, right? They're not in the stuff. No word on Adam Ray. I'd be shocked if we heard anything about Cole anytime soon. Kenny just came back. Now he is gone. Tony needs to be. Well, see, Kenny's gone because he's having some things done. According to him, in his own words, he's having some things done. You know, scheduled hospital visits, probably having some things took care of. In his words, he wants to be the best he possibly can for that company. I get that. I've ranted before about how I think that they dropped the ball with Kenny years ago, but that's one guy's opinion. Alma, how are you doing? Alma, good. Listen, thank you so much for watching, and all the best to you. I know life can be tough, but you know, we're always pulling for you. So hang in there, Alma, and thanks for taking time out of your day to watch little old me. I appreciate you very much. But yeah, hang in there. I know that probably didn't help too much, but just hang in there. Let's see what else is going on this week. So Adam Priest had a weird little thing backstage with FTR. And on Collision this week, it's going to be him and Tommy Billington versus FTR. That should be a good little fight. Good little match. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Ronda Rousey came out this week and said it's ridiculous that WWE had her facing Alexa Bliss. In fact, she said it was effing ridiculous they had her facing off against Bliss. Now, you could argue that she's working, but who knows? On the Lapsed Fan podcast, she talked about her WWE in her transition from being a legitimate MMA fighter. She said, quote, "The fact that they had me fighting Alexa Bliss at all was effing ridiculous. And you want to know why they had me against Alexa? Because she had the most merch sales at the time on that side. Like, what the F? Like, that's your decision-making process, end quote. I swear to God, kids, I don't even know what to say about that. Alexa kept it classy and went on Twitter herself and just said, "I love our business." And that was all she said. Look, I don't understand this. I'm going to call it diva mentality. I don't really care. It's my show. Because I think that's maybe what a lot of this is. And I'm not saying that because she's female. I mean it. Men can be divas, especially in the business. All right. Prima donna. How about that? Is that better? I don't get this. Like, I got news for you. The sun does not revolve around you. It doesn't rise and set on you. Pro wrestling was here before you got here. It's here now. It'll be here long after everyone stopped talking about you. No disrespect. But this thing where she goes out and says this weird stuff in these interviews, like she's taking shots. I mean, free country, at least for now. I guess you can do whatever you want, but isn't that weird? Isn't that weird just a little bit? Like, I just don't understand. You know what's weird is that people with a lot of money sometimes say the dumbest stuff. You're like, not that money makes you smarter by any means, okay? But methinks maybe she got dropped on her head one too many times. Again, she lived it. What do I know? I didn't live it with her. I didn't live it at all, right? So, like, maybe I'm dead wrong. But, like, why do you choose to go scorched earth on? I just don't understand that. I don't get it. Ray says saw JD Drake on Collision. Yeah, dude, JD can hit a moonsault like crazy. Yeah, he's very good. Fernando says Ron never understood the wrestling business. Buddy, you couldn't be more right. I don't think she ever got it. To this day, she doesn't get it. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Again, I just, weird's the only word I got sometimes, man. Did you guys see recently AEW put Taz in the Hardcore Hall of Fame, or inducted in the Hardcore Hall of Fame. He was a legit surprise. Didn't know it was coming. Good for him. I like Taz quite a bit. Says that he didn't want the segment on TV. He believes that time is better spent on the current roster. And he didn't want it on TV. That's a pro right there. He's not wanting to put the camera on himself. Not wanting to put the camera on himself. Former Evolve wrestler Jaka in ICU after a heart attack. Jonathan Echevarria, I believe, battling for his life after suffering a heart attack. There's a GoFundMe that's been posted with more than 13 grand in just a few hours. And he's currently, his family said, currently in the ICU after suffering a heart attack, remains in critical condition. All the best to him. I hope he pulls through. I hope he comes out of this. And, you know, we wouldn't just say that because the guy's a worker. We would say that about anybody. But, yeah, all the best to him and his family, man. Good vibes. Everyone send this guy some good vibes, man. For sure. Let's see. What else is going on? How about the Matt Riddle stuff? Jesus. Let me tell you this. At the end of my show on a Friday, 49 minutes and 32 seconds in, I don't waste a lot of breath on Matt Riddle. If you waste a lot of breath on Matt Riddle, you are welcome to. I, however, will not. Talk about someone that doesn't get it. Matt Riddle has the nerve to call someone else a creep. You called someone else a... Let me get this straight. You called someone else a creep? You did? Really? Really? Okay. Dude, what? I don't know what to say about any of that, man. I legit don't know what to say about any of that. That's some of the wildest stuff ever. This guy, again, not going to waste a lot of time. If you haven't heard the news lately, he no-showed a charity event. He has returned the deposit. He was supposed to travel to the UK to face a worker named Simon Miller at a show. In fact, is that Simon Gotch? Do I have that? Maybe I got the wrong guy there. It's reported that Riddle no-showed the event. It was a charity show to benefit homeless veterans and survivors of bereavement by suicide. He had not returned the deposit. Well, guess what? He has. And he has given his word to the promotion. He will reimburse his expenses as well. But you know what sucks? You know what sucks? Is that everything had to hit social media before he did the right thing. That's what sucks. Now, look, I wasn't there. Neither were you. But look, whether this is a misunderstanding or everything unfolded exactly the way you heard it was unfolding, either way, Matt Riddle does not deserve my time or anyone else to talk about live on TV or on a podcast or anywhere else. They just don't. So I'm not going to waste any more breath on him. How are we feeling about All Out, kids? How are we feeling about it right now? I know we're just starting the build. I know we're just starting to get there. You know, the 20th, it's not that long. Dude, it's 2 weeks away at this point. I'd like to know what everybody thinks about the build to All Out. Honestly. Got any opinions on that? Fernandez says Sabu should be inducted next. Great call. Great call. Ray says heard they're having Black lose and have non-big matches because they went to AEW. I don't know. It's WWE. How can you tell? How can you tell with that company? They're vengeful. They're methodical. They're spiteful. That's who they are. That's who they've always been. They've always been that company. That other dude don't need to be there. They've always been that company. It would not surprise me at all. Robin says Tony Khan finally giving Taz his flowers. Shows he's way different than a certain 80. Oh, dude, there's no doubt about it. Ray says Matt is a crackhead. Hoy! JP says pot calling the kettle black. Boy, you said that right. Yep, Fernando, I agree with you. Yeah, like I said, I got nothing to say about it. Ray says love Cope and Christian. Think that'll be a great match. I'm warming up to it. I'm definitely warming up to it. Yeah, we don't have a world title match yet. A lot of people are predicting it's going to be Hangman and Mark Briscoe. I would love to see those two guys work. Do I think it's going to happen? In my opinion, I don't think it'll happen. But who will it be? Who will Hangman face off against? You know, I think anyone facing Hangman at this point in time, in my opinion, I mean, I don't think Paige is losing that belt anytime soon. I don't want to call anything a throwaway match because I don't feel like anything that he would do would be a throwaway match. Okay, he's the champ. He's a breath of fresh air on that world title scene, and I love Mox. Don't get me wrong, but it was time for the change. My opinion, it was time for the change. But I kind of feel like whoever they book him against, it's not going to make a massive difference. Hopefully, we get a good match and a good little storyline from it. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, everybody, stay tuned for that. I'm interested to see where it goes. By the way, did everybody catch Harley Cameron calling out Bro Dito for the tag team championships? Oh my God, give us Bro Dito. That was freaking awesome. I need more Harley Cameron on my TV. I don't care what they have her do. Harley Cameron is great. She's fantastic. And I need more Harley Cameron on my TV. Honestly. Don't you? Yeah, Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I've heard that said too, Fernando. Heyman versus Briscoe isn't a pay-per-view main event. It could be. And I think they give Mark plenty of screen time. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's just how the guy's been built. I think he's been built to a point, then they stop with him. And they don't have to. Mark's fully capable of being a world title contender. I truly believe that. I don't think there's any such thing as, you know, he can't do this or can't do that. He can do whatever. Mark's fantastic. But I totally get where you're coming from as well. AJ Styles, in case you haven't seen this, kids, has teased retirement in a social media post. 6 months ago, he said he's not afraid of retirement. And he, on Instagram, let's see, when he posted, it may have been today, he posted an hourglass with his logo and the sands are going down into the bottom. And that's all he said. So in a March interview, he said that he plans to retire before he turns 50. He's 48 right now. I think he's still 48. He has an idea for a storyline to build to a retirement match. He debuted at the 2016 Royal Rumble in Orlando, Florida. And as we know, this guy's been all around the world, New Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, everywhere. This guy's in everything. And, you know, if it's his time, good for him. He's still in fantastic shape. Hopefully he still feels good. Hopefully he's healthy. And, yes, I did see Stat's face. Isn't that great? Stat's going to turn heel. I believe it looks that way. Stat's going to join Death Riders. I don't understand why. But I guess she can do whatever she wants, or they can do whatever they want, right? I'm not crazy about it. But just because I just love Harley. You know what I mean? And I guess if you're going to put a woman with them, I guess Stat would make the most sense because she's so incredibly tough. Not that the rest of the ladies aren't tough, but like if you're going to put another lady with that group that's going to work pretty much on a full-time basis because Marina's not doing that, then I guess Stat would be the one you put in there. Stat's your guy. So I'd be okay with that. But I love Harley. I just don't want to see Harley get destroyed, ripped to shreds, and then put off TV. I just don't want that to happen. Tibby says AJ's been around since 2002. Might be his time to retire. Again, as we always say, whenever you think the time is right, you got to go with your gut and do what's best for you and your family. So if it's time, right? All right, kids, the floor is wide open. You got some stuff that's not pro wrestling, throw it at me. Whatever you got. Within reason. Everybody be pretty. I've told this story many times here on my show before, but I had a great grandmother who always said, play purty. Y'all got to play purty. I am down south. So yeah, I've never forgotten that. I have a female cat named Pris, and I swear to God, she's my great grandmother reincarnated. I'm not messing with you either. I'm totally not messing with you. Ray says Digital Underground or House of Pain. Digital Underground. Naughty by Nature or Rex in Effect. I'll go Rex in Effect. If Adam Cole invited you to the grand opening of the Adam Cole Gym Apparel and Equipment Store and said you could have anything apparel for gym equipment for free, what would you take? I need some lifting gloves. I got to take these rings off when I go to the gym, and I need some gloves because I'm starting to get calloused on my hands from the ellipticals. Chest press especially, bicep curls. I mean, dude, that bar is not, I won't say it's unforgiving, but when you're, for me, 130 pounds is I've had to build my way up to 130 pounds. Okay. For some other guys, that's a walk in the park, but I'm not 20 anymore. So weightlifting gloves for sure. Got to get some. Send an invite to a friend to grab something. Please call me. Absolutely. Want to get dinner, which included steak, fries, and a cool glass of water. Can I join as well? Absolutely. Absolutely. Fernando says, I think orange is the friend Yuta was talking about. Ooh, interesting. Fernando also says, Toby or Andrew? Yes. I can't pick. Here's what I'll say. I think Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man between him and Toby. I'm talking about in the suit. And a lot of that's not on Toby. It's the dialogue. It's the dialogue and what was written. I think Andrew was a great Spider-Man. I don't think Andrew was a great Peter Parker. But again, it's the dialogue. It's the story. We did Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the 6M podcast. It's in the archives, kids. On the YouTube, go check it out. Not a good movie. It is not a good movie, okay? In my opinion. But it's very, very obvious in part 2. It was obvious in part 1, but part 2 more so. How he was he's very cut out to be Spider-Man, not so cut out to be Peter Parker. It's very obvious to me. It's very obvious. And by the way, I love Toby. I've always been a fan of Toby, man, for sure. Robbie says AJ Lee returning on SmackDown tonight. Do you think her run WWE will last as long as her last run, or is it just to balance out Seth and Becky? I don't know. It seems like she doesn't need to work. But she's coming back. I guess they talked her into it. Maybe the timing was right. I don't know. But it seems to me like she doesn't need to be there because she hasn't been chomping at the bit to come back, apparently. I love AJ. I used to do this thing back what Flair used to say about woman. It was woman, oh woman, won't you marry me now? And I did that all the time. And people took it seriously, like I'm like being a jerk or something. I'm like, dude, calm down. It's Twitter. Who cares about Twitter? Not I, said the cat. So, especially not anymore. I'm done with that platform, Jack. Done. So anyway, I like AJ a lot. I think she's great. And I'd like to see her have a good little run. I think whatever it is she would like to do would be fine with me. Now, I'm not trying to give you a non-answer. But, yeah, her and Punk versus Seth and Becky would make a lot of sense. I think we'll definitely see that match. I think they're going to keep stoking the fires between him and Seth as long as they can. Punk's got to take that belt off of him. Doesn't have to be right now. But I've aired this before. You sent Punk out there how many times now and said, I'm going to win that title. I'm going to win it next week. I'm going to win that belt. I'm going to win that belt. I'm going to win that belt. He doesn't win the belt. In my opinion, you're cutting his legs off from underneath of him. That's just me talking. He's still over. Fernando says Vader or Bam Bam. I don't know, dude. That's tough. I'll say in terms of athleticism and doing a lot more than just being a big man, Bam Bam for sure. What do I think of Marvel Zombies? I cannot wait for Marvel Zombies. That trailer looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see it. I love their pressing forward. You guys know I'm here for the MCU, man. I'm in the bag for the MCU. I always have been. For real. I'm not going to hide it from anybody, man. One of the M's in the 6M podcast is Marvel. Movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. By the way, here is the YouTube link again, kids. If you have not subscribed for free on YouTube, please go do so. If you guys like Ray Dean, if you like Ray all day, you got to catch the new pod coming. It will be on Boink Studios YouTube. The video version exclusively, we will stream to Facebook too, but it will be housed. The home for that video show will be on Boink Studios YouTube. So go down there in the chat. In fact, right there, hit subscribe. While you're there, you can check out previous shows, the main event, going all the way back to the first year the show started. If you want to go back and watch those, you're welcome to. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Why? Because I can't watch myself in those first couple of years. It's probably rough. But if you guys would like to, I'd like for you to do it. I think hopefully you'll get something out of it. Don't come back and tell me it's hokey. I can't be hearing that. You'll bruise my ego. Superman special announcement. Oh, sequel announcement. Man of Tomorrow. I love it. I'm here for it. I can't wait for Superman, the next movie. By the way, he showed up on the set of Peacemaker in full costume. Oh. So they're doing something. I'm so here for that. I just have a hard time believing he showed up in costume to not be on camera. And he shaved with the hairstyle and everything. Corn Sweat did. I imagine we'll be seeing him on camera on the Peacemaker show. I'm here for it. I love that guy. Pink Floyd lead singer trashed Ozzy Osbourne and Jack clapped back. Any thoughts? You know, as with a lot of stuff, Robbie, like in music and pro wrestling, none of us are there. We only know what we see of these people. We only know them through the art that they create. I'm not taking up for anybody. Okay. And especially speaking ill of Ozzy Osbourne, he's no longer with us. Well, what do you have to gain by doing that? I think it's all very odd. I don't understand why we got to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? It seems like people don't have any respect. I just don't get it. And says a man of Sammy for heel turn on Von Erich saw it coming. It was only a matter of time. Sammy's a cocky little heel. He's a great heel too. He's a great heel. Can we just say that? He's a great heel. What are my thoughts on the dramas on the set of Doomsday? I don't believe 90% of what I'm hearing. I just don't believe it. Because we have heard so many times through the years, whether it's Marvel or DC or whatever studio, this happened, this happened. Then you see the movie, you're like, oh my God, this movie's amazing. I just don't believe any of it. You want to know why? Because it's hard to, again, how do you separate fact from fiction? How's it even possible? It's so hard when you're not there. We're taking the word of people who are also not there. I just want the movies. I don't care about drama. Do I want everybody to get along? Boy, you better believe I do, for sure. But I don't care about any of that. I just want the movies. Give me a great product. Give me a great movie. And y'all can argue behind the scenes as much as you want to. You know, you want to throw hands with Ryan Reynolds or whoever else may be involved here. I don't know. Have fun. Do it in costume. Let's get it on tape. But like, I just don't care about any of that. You know what I mean? That's just me talking. I want the movies to be good. That's what I want. As a fan, that's what I want more than anything else. If people can't get along for whatever reason, that sucks. I hate to see that. I hate to hear it. But again, if you're asking me if I believe any of it, I don't believe a word of it. I just don't. Give me somebody who's on the set, who can prove they're on the set, who can prove what they're saying. Because right now it's all hearsay. And you know how you guys know how this rolls, right? One person says it, and 400 websites pick it up and roll with it. It's just like pro wrestling. It's crazy. Well, kids, looks like that's what we got for you here today. We went an hour, a little bit of change here. We're going to go start our weekend. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Again, we're 10 episodes away from the big 400. We hope that you guys will tune in to episode 400. Thank you for watching every week. We very much appreciate your time and your business. Remember to please subscribe to the YouTube. Every time after a live stream, I go check the YouTube and see if anyone's subscribed. If you would also like to leave this show review on the Facebook, Tom Clark's Main Event, go leave a review on that page. I'd greatly appreciate it. We got great reviews. I'd love some more. If you guys would do that for me, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate you very much. I hardly ever ask for anything. The only thing I ever really want from you guys is just your time and attention, and for you to give me a like and subscribe here and there. That's all I really ever hit you up for. Sometimes I hit you up for other stuff, but sometimes I don't. So there you go. Kids, thanks again as always for hanging out with us. Do me a favor. Have a great weekend. All right, we'll be back here a week from today, barring any unforeseen circumstance. And if anything comes up, I will definitely let you know. But do me a favor, stay tuned to boinkstudios.com. Boink Studios on YouTube. Check out Bear Mode, a podcast review of The Bear, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and go back and binge all the episodes of Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. All 3 seasons, video and audio, both are there on the Boink Studios YouTube. Go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. We had a great time doing it. We're having a great time doing the Bear Mode show. So if you're a fan of The Bear, go check that out as well. Again, kids, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you very much. And we'll see you next time, kids.